If you are watching this video, you are probably a fan of all things spooky and scary. We all love going to haunted houses and watching horror movies all throughout October. It really wouldn't be the Halloween season without those things. But as much as we love the frights and scares of gruesome skeletons and hideous monsters, we cannot deny that there is a wonder and beauty to this special time of year. The entire summer, we are assaulted with nature being green and drab. But once the autumn sets in, we get the spectacle of nature exploding with colors. The trees turn a magnificent red or yellow, and orange pumpkins litter neighborhoods. Even a boring color like brown becomes a feast for the eyes when matched with the magic of fall. Some of you may not know this, but over the past few years, I have taken up photography as a small hobby. I mostly do nature shoots in the autumn and winter, but let me tell you, as soon as I see the leaves change color, I spend countless hours outside with my camera, filling up memory card after memory card. Now, by no means am I a talented or professional photographer, but over the years, I have managed to take a few decent shots, and I just thought I would share a few of them with you guys. Hopefully seeing some fall pictures will help you get in the Halloween mood the way it does for me. If you have watched my channel during the fall over the years, you have probably seen these pictures over and over again. I took these well over 10 years ago, and this is what sparked my love for nature photography. I had my first real job, and I was able to afford my first digital camera. I had booked a few days off from work around Halloween, and I used one of those days to go on a hike through the nature trails near my home. These aren't really anything special, but they do hold a sentimental value for me, and I'm glad I have held on to them for so long. These next two pictures are all about those bright red leaves. As you can see, I was trying to get artistic with my pictures here, but there was just something about that crimson foliage against a gray or misty blue sky that I always loved. I'm just thankful I was in the right place at the right time to be able to witness these trees and get a few pictures. Now, I don't mean to jerk myself off, but I am actually really impressed that I was able to make this picture turn out as well as it did. Those branches look like black lightning streaks across a golden sky. But in reality, this picture was actually very simple to attain. I just stood underneath a cool-looking tree, held the camera upwards at the base of the trunk, and boom, instant fall Instagram picture. These next two pictures are more about better lighting than dark skies and black trees. So many people associate October with darkness and night, but I absolutely love when it's a sunny day in autumn. The sun just makes the yellows and oranges pop. It's like a little slice of heaven here on Earth. I just wish you guys could have been here with me when I took these pictures. It was an isolated mountain trail. No cars, no city noises, no ugly power lines, just the sounds of the breeze, a warm sun, and beautiful nature. It was legitimately breathtaking. For this picture, I wanted a mixture of sky, nature, and water, and thankfully, I was able to find exactly that. I think the evergreen trees create a nice contrast between the oranges and yellows, and I also think that the sky and the water were able to frame the landscape nicely. Also, I think it is worth pointing out that this picture is completely unedited, so what you are seeing is exactly how I was viewing it too. These next two pictures were at the bottom of a place called the Blueberry Mountain. Last year, I was visiting my parents, and I was looking for a nature trail I had never been before, and I came upon this place. There's not much to say other than it is completely untouched nature, and it was one of the most beautiful places I have ever been. But I didn't just stay at the bottom of Blueberry Mountain. I climbed to the top, and it was well worth the effort. I think these are the 2 best pictures I have ever taken. I have never been able to get to a place with such a magnificent view before. I could see for miles, and I spent at least an hour just sitting on top of this mountain, taking in all of this beauty. The last 2 pictures I wanted to share with you guys aren't that impressive from a photography standpoint, but they are pretty cute, and I thought you would appreciate them. When I was visiting my parents, we went to this farm that had a small Halloween event going on, and they had these animals that you could visit and interact with. And I am not exaggerating when I say that this goat would not leave me alone. The second I walked up to his cage, he was eyeballing me like I owed him money. Even when I was walking away, I would look behind me, and this guy was just staring at me. Then, when it was time to leave and I walked past his enclosure, he just went right up to the fence and followed me with his eyes until I was out of view. And I'm not joking when I say that I still see him in my nightmares. Finally, we have this badass. Now, this isn't a goat, he's a Jacob, which is a cross between a goat and a sheep. I read somewhere that these things were bred in Northern Europe so they could have an animal that would produce both milk and wool. But apparently when you crossbreed these animals, it messes with their genetics, and they end up growing these really funky horns. Now, this guy wasn't as interested in me as the previous animal, but just look at him. He's awesome. The black spots on his white face make it look like a skull, and skulls are cool as hell. Well, those are all of the pictures I have to share for now, and I hope I didn't bore you guys too much with all of this. I just thought it would be fun to share some of the autumn beauty we have here in Canada. Perhaps in the future I will do more videos like this, if I can manage to take a few more good pictures.